Okay, it's time to get this radio out the chassis. So I have downloaded the instructions for this. As I say instructions, it's service instructions. And first of all, really we've got to get it out of the chassis. So there's 4 screws basically that hold it into the chassis, which is, I'm assuming, these 4. But the frightening bit is going to be getting this off, because that is, oh, that is solid on there. I do not want to break that. It just won't turn at all. Push the back it will, but yeah, scary stuff really. I could try releasing the chassis and pulling it from the rear. It's definitely been pushed on too tight because it's rubbing against the case at the moment. If I push the tuning cap from the back, it releases it a little bit, but if I let it go, it hardly turns. It's got to come off. I have somewhere seen information about removing these, so I'm going to probably look at that first. As I say, I could just release the 4 screws and try and prise it off by wiggling the chassis out, but that could potentially snap the middle section right off. I don't think it will, mind you, but it's a bit risky. So, I'm going to have a quick look on the vintage radio forum, because I'm sure someone has said about getting those off before, so bear with me. Okay, there's seems to be various ideas about removing this dial cover. Some that I would normally try that I'm not going to be able to with this one. The problem I've got is it's very, very tight against the case. Very tight. Literally can't prise it enough to get anything underneath. I think someone's just pushed it back on that little bit too hard. So the only option I've got, and one of the methods described, is to, again, I'm not favouring this method really, but I don't want to prise this too much, and that is to basically release the 4 chassis screws, grab the chassis, pull the chassis, using the chassis to lever this off. So leaving this in place and pulling the chassis out. So I'm going to have a go at that to start with. It's suggested possibly to put a bit of lubricant on the actual spindle. And again, if I could get in there, I would, but I can't. So unfortunately, this is my only option that I can see. Just hope that I do not crack this. If you thought I did a video recently where I had to prise the front off of something, and that was pretty scary, but this is a lot more scary. Whether I could use a dial cover off of another set, I don't know, but as I say, this is so rare, this radio, that I want to try and keep it as absolutely original as possible. So, there we have the radio. It should be loose from the chassis. Okay, yeah, that is pretty loose. It looks like the only thing now that is holding it is the well, those knobs are going to be holding it in for one. But that tuning dial, I'll try and get my fingers in there. Oh, hello, something moved. Oh my god, I think she's coming. Whoa, there we go. Amazing. Scary stuff. It's off, yes. I'm chuffed with that. Right, let's get this. This is a heavy radio, actually. Get this dial pointer off. Ah, it's gone the wrong way. Come on. Again, I don't want to use anything that's going to scratch that lovely burgundy dial plate. There we go. Gently, gently. There we go. Ha! Done. So this looks like it's slipped a little bit. It must be some sort of I don't know. I don't know what that is. It looks like a bit of an extra earth point. I thought it was something to do with the antenna. But again, this is all looking really smart. I'm sure somewhere it says that that this loop here acts as some sort of antenna. And there is like a little blob of solder there. And if you can see that, there's a blob of solder there. There's nothing connected to it. Let's get you in. Yeah, just here, look. So it looks like something might have been actually attached to that. And I'm sure I've read somewhere that this forms part of the antenna. So we'll see. Anyway, that is a big relief. Let's put that to one side out of harm's way. And we can have a look at the chassis then. Okay, here we have the front side of the chassis. Now, as I say, someone has done me a massive favour in here. I mean, this is real neat work. I keep banging on about it, but what a job they've done on this. Look at all these new RS capacitors. Loads of them that all extremely neatly soldered in. Very nice job. Certainly that's a man after my own, someone that's a bit of a perfectionist. Really nicely done. So it looks like all the capacitors on this side of the board have been changed. Speakers in really good condition, no issues there. This is looking really good. This is looking like it could be going on this one. Just looking at the valve bases now. Just seeing if we've had any replacement valve bases. These are known to be a little bit temperamental, I believe. Yeah, very nice job this. Someone's even put some sleeving on the leads in places to stop it shorting. The rubbers don't look too bad on the tuning cap. Might be worth popping them out. But yeah, I was glad that came off nice and easy. Looks like somebody has actually greased that, so that would have helped an awful lot. Well loved set, this one, I would have thought. Someone's spent a lot of time on this. I mean, that must have taken days to put all these caps in. Got one shorting out there on the can of this cap, potentially. Yeah, so far so good. Nice job. So what I need to try and somehow do, and it's going to take a while, is check all these caps against the schematic just to see whether they're right. The problem is I haven't got a layout diagram, so it means following all of these circuit diagrams back. I've not got a particularly clear circuit diagram either. I can barely read the values. I can see the layout okay, but no, not really any values. Let's see if I can find a better copy than that. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. I'll say really interesting. Now I've got great access to the chassis to clean up the top. So these switches don't line up quite right for some reason, whether this S1 switch is a bit bent or the knob's not on properly, the push switch. I just need to give that one a little tweak with the pliers to bring it back in line. But overall, this is looking almost, depending on how I can get the case looking, like a mint set of this, which would mean it's extremely valuable. So on the front side, I've got to just check these valves are all the right ones. Looks like there is writing on them. I need to make sure they're the right valves and that they're in the right places in the circuit. I did have a nosy on the circuit diagram for this, so let me run through which valve is what here. So that one, and that one, okay. So we've got V1, which is this one here. This should be a DK96. Okay, we've got a different valve in there, but doesn't mean to say it's the wrong one. So I'll make a note of these as I go along. So V1, which is the mixer oscillator, should be a DK96, but it's a 1A B6. So it's a 1A B6. It's made in England. Tungsgram. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm not confident in powering my valve tester up. It's a Mullard high-speed valve tester, and I need to really go right the way through it before I start using it to make sure that it's safe, and I've not had a chance to do that yet. So V1 mixer oscillator, we've got a replacement in there by the looks of it. Should be a Mullard DK96, but it's a Tungsgrim 1AB6. So V2, which is this one up here, is an IF amplifier, and it should be a DF96, and it is a DF96. I'll say that is an IF amplifier tube. The next one, also DF96, yeah, V3, DF96, again is IF amplifier, so that's 2 amplification stages. Okay, so V4 now, which is this one down the bottom. It looks a little bit wonky, that one actually, so he's moved around a little bit. I'm going to have to pop that one out gently. So V4, which is this is a multifunctional valve. This one's a detector, AGC, and another stage of the IF amplifier. That's a DAF96, which is correct. Let's put that one back in there very carefully. Okay, so V5 then, this is the output valve. Okay, I can't see that one really. Looks like a DL96, yes it is. DL96, let's get a paintbrush on that, if that's dust or, that's a bit of dust. So be careful not to clean these valves too much, because you can actually wipe the writing off. So it's DL96, that's the output valve, and that's it, isn't it? So the only one we got different is this one here. So just need to look up the data for that one now, just to make 100% sure that is the correct valve for there. Okay, I thought rather than doing the easy thing and Googling this, doing an internet search, I thought I'd dig out some of my old books that I've collected over the years. I've got various books here on valves. It's obviously Mullard here, which is probably going to be the ultimate one. I've got this one, which is from Standard Telephones and Cables Limited from 1959, so basically STC as it's probably better known. Some good information on all the different valve types in there. It has got the equivalent, the V1 is 1AB6, well it does tell us that that is an equivalent for the DK96, which is the mixer oscillator. So this basically is the Mullard maintenance manual, 16 shillings. I don't know when this is dated. We've got some sort of guide there. I'm not sure what that's for. I'm sure it's got a use. This is the second edition. It's 1961, so this is 1957 set, so we're pretty close. So DK96 is a heptode frequency changer. As I say, it's being used as a mixer oscillator in this set. So it's just got different operating conditions, what should be capacitances, limits. But on the bottom here, let's get you in a little bit. Just down here it does say it's a replacement for 1A/B6, which is the valve that we have got in there. So that is the correct valve. That was the whole point of that exercise, so we do now know that it's correct. A couple other books I've got this one, which is an old, it was free with television by the looks of it. Nunes, Radio and Electronic Engineers Pocketbooks. There's loads of different bits and pieces. Again, picked that up from an old TV engineer. They issued those every year. I've also got an old Brimar book there, which has got Thorn radio valves and tubes in it. Again, lots of information on Brimar valves. So yeah, these books are worth picking up. So I could have done a search on the internet, but as I say, that's pretty much answered it. So we know all the valves are correct, which is a big bonus. So next, really, I'm just going to go through now and just check out all these capacitors. In the service instructions, it does give the ratings for all the capacitors, and some of them are quite low tolerance. We've got some there that are the standard 20% tolerance, but some of them are 1%. Some of the non-polarized ones are 0.5 picofarad tolerance. It's pretty low. 20% plus 100%, some of them that. Oh, minus 20 to plus 100. So they're not particularly accurate, those. That looks like the electrolytics actually. So yeah, I'm just going to go through now and check that these are the correct value capacitors. If any of them are a little way out, I don't think it'll hurt powering it. It's just the electrolytics, I think, that are going to cause us an issue if I try and power it up at this stage. So bear with me, I'm going to do that off camera.